We're not questioning Freddie B.
No. The assessment was just for you. That was just for you. Assessment just for you. I could assess Freddie B, but then it's kind of redundant because it's gonna do the same. It's the same thing. Like it's the same thing I did passion for passion, this for this. That's why I went with him on the other thing, and I did this assessment. That's why I specifically isolated. Like, okay, I'm gonna do that with her later. But do you want to do Freddie B?
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
I found it interesting. I'm like, oh, so we're not questioning because I mean, to me in society, we already do that. We put a lot of responsibility on women to be all of this, and it's just like, okay, cool, men make money. That's good. That's all you gotta do.
Well, no. Welcome to the TMF podcast, where we have too many feelings. I'm your host, T Staples, and I'm joined by
the lovely and amazing Ms Munroe.
Okay, all right, all of that, huh? All right, and who else we at?
That's your main man, Freddie B, and I'm just here in the building.
All right, man. I hope you in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cold outside. So look, for all y'all listeners, we're bringing you all these feelings from the comfort of our homes, and you damn right we're gonna bring them from the comfort of our homes. It's cold. That's right, 100% remote. So if you feel our show us how you feel by subscribing, so you can get notified when the new episodes drop. And if you like what you're hearing, send us a message. Our handles are in the description below. We love to hear how you feel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about success and black love. Can we have it all? This is a part 2 to episode 16. And we got to jump right in. I am kind of curious. Ms Munroe, Freddie B, y'all both single, right? I want to establish a baseline before I start my line of questions. Y'all both single. Am I correct or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, by all intents and purposes, 2 non-married people, right?
Right.
Okay. Freddie B, what kind of woman do you think you may want? Like, what do you want in a mate?
So the attributes that I would say in a mate, just to list them off top, I would say spirituality, gender roles, flexibility, pliability, attractiveness. Those are like the ones that's off the top of my head.
On a scale of 1 to 10, can you 7? Can you 7? Scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10.
You said attractiveness. What that mean?
Oh, for the woman. Like
you want her to be attracted to you.
Right, attracted to me. But then here's the thing: I don't necessarily know if I want a chick like that's a dime. I can't say I want a dime. Like, oh, you want your girl to be a dime? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to just toot like super fine. Like, she only had to be super fine. I just wanted to be attractive, cute.
Yeah, because I had some dimes, and I may not be working.
Right, I've been there before, and I've seen, and I'm friends with a few. And I've seen a common thread amongst like bad chicks.
The dimes, but not bad chicks. The bad ones, as in fine dime.
Yeah, like bad, like ones that's 9s and 10s. Yeah, the ones that's like 9s and 10s. It's like they just bad. Like when they go out, it's just dudes are going to look.
We'll have to assess that. We'll have to bring that up in a future episode. I'm curious to what's the similarities in all these dimes said.
Yeah, I mean, we can touch on that in another episode.
Whole brick.
Hey. So but to break down those, like spirituality, she needs to believe in Jesus, Yahweh, Christ, all those different things. And so obviously she needs to believe in that. Gender roles as in like how do you view the house? You know what I mean? Is it similar to how I view it? Because if it's I'm way right, you way left, or vice versa, then it's like, I'm not really trying to just, because if somebody's way far from you, then sometimes people are just like, they'll acquiesce just for the situation, but they don't really believe it in their heart. And so then, but that type of stuff creeps back up in the future. So you want somebody who naturally believes similar to what you believe. Flexibility, pliability, being able to compromise, somebody who can actually look logically at something and it's like, okay, like I don't agree, but I see what you're saying. Let's explore this. Not like, I don't agree, shut up. And then that's just it. Like, they just not trying to hear you. Like, listen to what I'm saying. And then you still may not agree, but let's explore. Tell me more. Let's discuss. I'm interested in discussing it with you. And what I said about attractiveness. So,
okay, Ms Munroe, what are the attributes you want in a mate? You want a mate, I'm assuming, so we can go with that. That's clear. What do you want most in them?
You want a mate, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming, but I mean, you can correct me, Ms. Munroe. Feel free. You are free to correct me.
Honestly, I don't know. The older I get, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I was talking about this to a friend the other day, and I was like marriage used to be like plan A. Like, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna have kids, and I was like, that motherfucker's like plan Z now. Plan A is I'm gonna get my finances together and adopt some kids.
Damn, that's plan Z.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Fell off the whole horse.
Okay, so I mean, so if you done made it through the whole alphabet and you just so happen to make it to Z, what would you want to make?
Good luck.
So somebody that I'm attracted to, and that could be a very
Okay, wait a minute.
things.
I
It
could
could
do like
be-
freebie. I could do equal rights.
Right. It could
1 through
be
10. Can't use 7.
You silly. It could be that I find them physically attractive, or that they're whatever initially like catches me, either their physical attractiveness or their personality, the way they think or the way they view the world. It could be one of those things. Like, that has to be like number one, because I want to be into you. Because a lot of times we kind of, in society, we tell women to, oh, well, you know, pick whoever's liking you, but I might not like that nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be into that person. 2 for me is financial stability. Somebody who I agree with or like their relationship with money. 3, the direction that person is going in their life. 4, do I have fun with that person? Like, do I have a good time with them? Like, if we was not when we out spending money, or we doing lavish shit, or we going to restaurants, like we at home, we just kicking it. Do I like being around you? Mm-hmm. Like, do I like your presence? Because a lot of dudes were like, I'm gonna take you now. You know, we could just hang out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know if something happens, we ain't got shit. I ain't gonna be looking at you like I can't stand this nigga. Like, I need to know that. So those are like my top 4. I would like for them to have I wouldn't say a religious background. I would like for them to believe in God, but I'm not hell bent on that as much as I used to be when I was younger. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
So a question.
Sorry, one more. I also very much need somebody who, because I'm not a woman who believes in old school gender roles. And I need to be with somebody who also feels the same way. So funny that I had a conversation with my friend, because he was asking me what I felt about the whole Kevin Samuels thing, and it was another clip that was out floating around the same time. I guess it didn't go viral like his did, and he was asking me what I thought about that, about men paying for things and doing that, and I was like, honestly, it depends, because I often come across men who have black men who come across who want to talk about women being gold diggers. I'm like, well, they talking about 2053, we ain't gonna have no wealth, so what gold are we supposed to be digging? But then they also want to be revealed as the head of the household. But I'm like, well, the men who did that paid for everything, so you can't have it both ways. And I'm definitely a person who agrees with the 50-50 notion, but I also don't think that you get to be the head of the household and I'm subservient to you if we 50-50. So I can't be with a man who believes in old gender norms. You can have those beliefs, just stay away from me.
That's interesting. So but
hold on. With what you said, you kind of do, though.
What do you mean?
You kind of do, because you said that if you are going to be the head of the household and you're going to be running stuff, then it ain't no 50-50.
Yeah, but not with me, though. You could do that with somebody else. Y'all can have that belief over there.
Right.
I'm not with it.
So you're saying you're going 50-50 in your household, or are you handling 100%, and then he at the house and you the head of the household?
I'm saying I believe in 50-50, because I don't even think I would be attracted to a man who didn't have some goals of ambition of himself career-wise. I don't even think I could do that.
Got you. Well, to add my one more, I got one more yet. And so what you said about finances, that's one of the biggest things that will break up a marriage is finances. So some type of financial responsibility. So my thing is, either you're fiscally responsible, or you have that gap to learn how to be fiscally responsible. But like, so I think that may fall under pliability and flexibility. You know what I mean? Like, you're willing to learn. Because some people don't know about credit cards. Some people don't know about how credit works. They don't know about all these different things. So if you have that flexibility, you have that pliability, I can come in the picture and I can give you, I can help lead you with all that, so you can get that and you can learn, and then we can grow together.
Well, it's interesting, because I wanted you both to talk about the things that you wanted in a potential mate. And of course, Freddie B, top of mind. Ms Munroe, bottom of the list. Your mate. He's Z factor. But some of the things that Freddie B just brought up are some of the very issues that Kevin Samuels is addressing. Finances, like who's paying for what. That particular clip that came out, one of the things he said, it's a clip that people really don't talk about. I mean, it's a piece of that clip they don't really talk about a lot, is why not get an average guy? Like, why do you need a high value man? Why not get an average guy? And she said, because them kind of guys really don't vibe with me. You know, they ain't really my style, you know, da-da-da. And I'm thinking in my mind, well, were you looking at an average man or an average boy? You know, what were you really looking at? And what do you, and so we have to start to qualify some of the things that we hear. And so one of the things I want to do with you guys is I want to qualify what the audience just heard about your particular needs or particular wants from a mate by saying or asking this one question of you. And then Ms Munroe, I'm going to have you go first on this one, which is, do you know what that man would want from you? The man you describe, the things you want in that mate, do you know what he would need from you in order to be with you?
Do I think of the list or?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, do you know? I mean, it's, you know, do you know first? And then if you do know, I would love to hear what you think, you know, okay, this is what he's probably going to require of me if I'm requiring this of him.
Right. Mm-hmm. For me to also be attractive myself, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, physically take care of myself. Don't let myself just go out of hell. Also too, mentally to keep myself, what's the word? Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, constantly learning and educating myself. As far as finances go, you know, I'm pretty good with my finances. I've been able to save and, you know, kind of invest, you know, I'm trying to get back into doing that. Let's see, what else did I list? I can't remember what number 3 was. I would also hope that he is, not somebody, you know, of course, if he's not somebody who believes in gender norms, that he expects me to be his help, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be that 50-50 and not even just finances, like, you know, how we take care of the household, and to not expect him to carry all that weight on himself to, you know what I'm saying, like, maintain us financially, or because we tend to put a whole, to me, in my opinion, which is why I don't like it. I feel like we put a lot of responsibility on men in that way, but we do also women. And I think it's, as far as like taking care of what's in the household and then the man paying for everything to maintain the house itself. I think that's way too much expectations on either person. There's some leniency in what sometimes, okay, you got to take on more. I got to take on more. I would expect that he would want me to be his friend and truly understand, you know, where he's coming from and how he moves through life and how that affects him, and to be aware of that and mindful of that. To also, you know, have fun and make sure that, you know, I'm making sure that he's happy and he's having fun, and that really both, because I say this all the time, like, if I'm going to be married, I got to be with a person, like, my home needs to be my oasis. You need to be a part of my oasis. If we coming home and we fighting all the time, or, you know, it's over some bullshit, like, you're not that. I understand nobody's going to be perfect and that every day is not going to be like that, but if that isn't it majority of the time, then we're not going to be able to do that. And so I need to make sure that I'm at peace with myself to also be able to bring peace to my household. So I would think that that's what that man would need from me.
That's interesting. And so I'm assuming because it's at the bottom of the list, you're not in that position to be those things that you just talked about providing for him. Or are you, and you don't even, it's the reasons at the bottom of the list is, I guess you've just given up on it.
I've pretty much given up on it because I really want to be with a black man, but it feels like in the black community, we not as open to the idea of women being 50-50. There's this whole, black people are, like, we joke about this all the time when I talk to black people in politics. We always talk about how, honestly, really, black people are mostly still very conservative and have very conservative values. And so that whole, the man has to be the head of the household, you must submit, like, I'm not with that. And I tend to find that most black men are. So for me, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not even about to fight.
What does submit mean to you, though?
To me, what's typically pressed in society is, this is the person who makes all the decisions, that you have to submit to whatever they say to do. And a lot of times, and I'm not. Listen, hold up, for y'all start jumping.
No, I'm not gonna jump. Freddie B wants to jump. I'm not gonna jump. I got something for you. I don't believe it has to be that way. I think that people can submit to people in that area. Like, I'm more knowledgeable in this area, you submit to what I say, and you're more knowledgeable in that area, I submit to what you say. But oftentimes, like,
Like, prime example, there's this guy who's been for the longest try to, get me or talk to me. And one of the things he said to me, mind you, we ain't never been on a date. We ain't barely held a conversation over the phone. Don't even really know me like that. Like, we just know a lot of the same people. And he's always like, oh, God, you're so cute. You're so beautiful, this and that, blah, blah, blah. He says to me one day, without us having a conversation about, what I want out of life, what my direction is, where I'm going, none of that. And he said something to me that a lot of men say. It's like, oh, man, I'm really interested in you, but, I don't know if you'll be able to submit to me. You don't even know if we want the same things. You're already worried about me submitting to you. You don't even know if you want in the same direction. Like, because if we ain't going in the same direction, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never submit to something that's not what I want for my life. You know what I'm saying? But to me, often too many men view it that way. It's an ego thing. And I'm just like, you know what? Cool, I'll bow out. I'm good.
And would you call these? You're saying these are men, or these are boys, or these are definitely men in your eyes?
Well, in my eyes, no. But that's what society. Oh, he makes a lot of money. Oh, he a man. He a good man because he make a lot of money. That's typically how we decide men are good in society.
Well, it sounds like both of your definitions are based on what other people think versus what you have.
Man,
actually,
that was a little bit what I was gonna say.
Actually have come. I'm just saying this is what you're saying. Like,
I ain't taking no slight to it because I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? But this is what we are often push in society. I have to compete against. It's almost like I talk about this with relationships, like with real estate. I may believe my house is valued at this price, but if the collective doesn't believe that it's valued at that price, they're not gonna pay for it. So I don't
sell
believe.
It then.
I'm not selling it. That's why it's off the market.
Put that thing back on the market, girl. That sounds freaky as a mud. She said, what did she just do? She just like, it's off the market. Dang. Okay.
I'm not. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's Plan Z, because nobody. I have had the hardest time finding a man who believes in a lot of things that I believe in. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, maybe it's not meant for marriage. That's fine.
Okay. Go ahead, Freddie B.
So what I hear is you kind of fashion your life based off what other people say and what other people have
what you got
painted. A lot of it, yeah, because it's like you said, because when he asked you what does submit mean, you said what people. You didn't say what it means to you. You didn't start with what it meant to you. You started with what it means to other people. And so here's the thing, to speak to that whole thing. Like, yes, granted, a lot of dudes got it wrong. A lot of women got it wrong. And so like what you just said, totally wrong. What dude said sound like it was wrong too. Thing with submit is a take on the word submission. Submission, right? Are we on the same page there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Submission. Break down the word. Wait, the first part of the word is sub.
This is a classic moment, Freddie B. Hold on. We got to, before you get too deep. It's classic, man. Yo, I'm gonna get a sound effect for this. Just wait. Ms Munroe, I'm gonna have a sound effect.
You gonna drop bombs like DJ Clue?
When she do the Ms Munroe, I gotta have a sound effect for that joke. Go hard. She always hit you with the. I can't do it.
She
because he's purposefully misunderstanding what I'm saying.
I can't do it, but
No, I'm not purpose. I heard what you said about submit, and so submit is I forgot the literary term, but it means the official word is submission. So the first part of the word submission is sub. The second part is mission. So when you submit, that means you get under the mission of the man. So whatever his mission is, you under that, and you're supporting his mission. Now the thing on the men, a lot of people get it wrong. They don't even have a mission for the woman to submit to. So a lot of men just they in their mind, they might say it like submit, like, oh, just listen to me and follow me, like kind of what you said, which is incorrect. It's not a blind obedience. It's not, oh, I'm just gonna obey every single thing you say blindly. It's, what is your mission? I meet you and I see what's your mission in life, where are you going towards, and if that's a mission, like, okay, yes, I want to be a part of that, then you submit yourself to that mission. You get under that mission, you support and you help him achieve that mission, because that mission aligns with your direction. You see what I'm saying? So going back to what you said, 50-50, what I gathered is you talking mainly about finances, like, okay, 50-50, like, okay, if I got something right, if I know something, then he follows you, and if he does something, then you follow him. You just named just a regular relationship. That's all is under submission. That's all you did was name a healthy relationship. That's it. That's all what a healthy relationship is. And so the thing is a lot of people hear the word submit and they automatically think that, oh, I'm just his slave. I just obey him and I never talk. And anything he say goes. No, that has never been a part of submission.
That's not the way it's supposed to be. But what typically happens is, this is no different than, going to a job like, the whole thing that's been big now about talking about how, in most states it's legal to discriminate against Black people because of their hair. So if most of these jobs are requiring, most of the jobs I'm coming across are requiring that I have to look or be this way, I'm saying, you know what, I opt out. I'm not saying I believe what they're saying is right. I'm saying I'm not participating. And I feel like you're misinterpreting to say that I believe what they're saying. No, I don't agree with it. But this is what I'm running into most of the time, because let's not act like that attitude was not pushed, that women were supposed to be subservient to men. It was. We were literally traded for cattle and land. That's where marriage and all that stuff even comes from. Like, we can't act like that's not. Yes.
Marriage comes from trading women for cattle and land?
Yes. That's even biblical. It was called a bride price.
Well, the parts I read about marriage had nothing to do with that. If you read, you go in, I think it's in 2 Corinthians. You read about the sacrifices the husband must make for his wife. It had nothing to do with then the wife, and you could trade her off for cattle and all this type of stuff. It starts with what when it's a whole chapter in the Bible where it talks about the family. The very first what it starts with is all the sacrifices the man must make for his wife. That's the very first paragraph. Then it gets to what the wife's supposed to do for the husband. Then it gets to what the children are supposed to be doing for the parents. So, but it starts off, the very first paragraph is what the man, because the man's supposed to be his wife's covering. Just how God covers the church, the man covers his family. So he's supposed to be the shield. He's supposed to take it all. The family live or die with him. Like, if something go wrong, he's supposed to die on the sword to make sure they good. That's what the Bible I've read. That's what it say about the husband. So I haven't read the part where you trade the women for cattle. I missed that part. I'm sorry. You can tell me those scriptures. I can go back and check them out. But that's what I've read. And then, like I said, listen to you about the 50-50. Like, yeah, a relationship is 50-50. And really, any relationship should be 50-50. It's sometimes where, even a friendship, sometimes where I need your help, sometimes where you need my help. And it goes back and forth. But when you balance it out, you look at it macro. You don't look at it micro. Look at it macro. It's 50-50. So with what you said, you just named a healthy relationship. But at the end of the day, with any partnership, if you were working together to achieve a common goal, you got to have a leader. You can't have just people just there and nobody's the leader. Just like we talked about the last episode, one of our previous episodes about the guy in Dallas in his restaurant. He the leader of the restaurant, so he needs to set the pace of what the restaurant gonna look like. Same thing, you have a family. Like, who's setting the pace? Who's setting that goal of where we're going?
And let's be clear. Sometimes in that case, sometimes it's the man and sometimes it's the woman, depending on the relationship.
Right. And so yeah, what the thing is, but at the end of the day, whatever, like it might be something where the woman, she might be like, hey, look, babe, we need to do dot. And then he says, okay, and they do it. The thing is, which going back to the men, a lot of men get it wrong, is that if you go with what the woman said and it turns out to be wrong, you can't go back to the woman and be like, look what you did. Cause that's what Adam did with Eve, where he messed up. Like, oh God, the woman gave me the apple. Like, no, you the man, you the leader. So whatever she came, like, you got to live and die with that. Because if you should have been well versed in it yourself to where y'all can have a discussion. But if you don't know, you don't know. You got to go. You have to go with what she said.
But he can't say that. He can't say that because God told him.
Right.
He
exactly.
didn't tell
That's
her.
my point.
He told him. So the fact that he ate the apple, right? He can no longer claim that, I was totally oblivious, it's her fault. See that, and I think where I was going to say for Ms Munroe, because I'm was from what she was talking about, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ms Munroe, but the ideas of marriage, where she was coming from, where she talked about cattle, that's in your first 5 books of the Bible. What she's talking about, but they're not giving you an example of, and it's unfortunate because I think I have actually heard this preached this way, but they're not giving you an example of marriage there. They're giving you an example of the way wealth exchange was happening. And so, and a lot of times, even when they were saying the word marriage, it's not in the same traditional way we think of marriage, right? In those first 5 books. I forget, Freddie, what's the first 5 books? Anyone of y'all know?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy.
But I'm saying, but what are it's overall.
Apocrypha? Oh, you talking about, yeah, I know. I forgot the name of those first 5. Yeah, they called something. I forgot.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But so if you look at
people can Google that.
Yeah.
Google that, y'all.
But
I thought it was the Apocrypha.
It may be.
Nah, the Apocrypha is the lost section that's in between the New and the Old Testament.
But listen, so what I was going to say is that what you're talking about, Ms Munroe, while yes, you are correct, there are stories of those types of things happening. Those were also not stories specifically talking about the way the family structure should be. They were talking about something on another level, but they were using that as an example. And I have, in her defense too, I've heard that preached. I've literally heard somebody utilize.
So let me
utilize the story.
So with that being said, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I've heard somebody utilize that story to try to preach like something in marriage, like, yeah, you know, he had a cost to get to you. And I was like, well, it wasn't exactly like for the bread though. That wasn't the cost. Like that wasn't. Okay, so if you're gonna hit him with that, you got to go to Corinthians. But then they forget. Sometimes I'm not saying that this is a bad preacher. I'm just saying he didn't go to Corinthians with it, where God breaks down the family, right? He breaks down the way the family should be. So I think I have heard that, and I have heard people take that. And listen, again, in her defense, I have to say this: people have taken a lot of these concepts far out of concept. I've heard brothers say some stuff.
Oh, of course.
And you'd be like, brother, what are you talking about? Yeah, you got to beat the bitch. You got to beat the bitch. She'll do what you gonna do. I was like, nigga, what?
But with that, the thing with the scripture people miss is that when you reading scripture and you pulling it out, you gotta break down the scriptures. A lot of people pull out scripture just like sound bites. Like we could do this whole podcast and somebody could pull out 30 seconds of Ms Munroe talking and be like, yo, look, she da 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 da, and then you hear it and be like, no, that's not what I love. Play the whole clip. Same thing with the scripture. People pull out one scripture, like, look, see what it says, but it's like, okay, who said it? Why were they saying it? And what was going on at the time that made them say that? And then you gotta. It's just like with the Bible, with the Quran, all these holy books, they're spiritually written. Right. So you have to spiritually interpret them. You can't interpret them like a fictional or a non-fictional literary book, right? Because there's spirits onto.
As the preacher says, you must exegete the scripture. Is what they would say.
Exactly. And you got false prophets out there. You got some preachers that will preach certain things because they got a certain point they trying to get across that is biased. And that's why, like, church I went to, every time the preacher would preach, he was pray like, God, help me to preach your word and not in the cunning words of man, not let my own personal vibe and mindset get in the way of this word, that what I preach is exactly what you want the people to get. And a lot of people miss that part as well.
Well, it's very, very true. So for it to be in that vein, or in this vein, you've heard what Ms Munroe said. What do you think that the woman who you want is going to want from you? And it's the same. It's literally the same question. It's just in reverse, basically.
What Ms Munroe to what she said, like, after time, you started like, damn, am I gonna find somebody? And at one point in time, I thought the same thing, but then I had to put things in perspective and understand that I know where I'm at. I probably could have found a person, but I always take responsibility for anything that I've done. And so I know that I'm sure positive there's things that I've done that have pushed it back to where, like, okay, I hadn't found that special person and I'm not married, having children, so on and so forth. But with all that being said, I think that with all what I require from a woman, I think that I more than possess those things that will validate or validate me to have that woman. And so I mean, now it just comes down to, like, okay, making more money. You know what I mean? Because of how I look at it. I look at my household as 50-50, but I look at
Fred,
it.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I kind of have to slow down, because the question was, what would she require from you? So are you saying making more money is going to be a thing that this woman that you want is going to possibly require from you? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, based off what I particularly want, yeah, I feel like that's what's fair to her.
Gotcha. Okay.
But as far as mentally, I possess all those different things because, like the main thing I said, flexibility and pliability, I have that. I'm definitely a person like, okay, I need to meet her where she at. Like she needs to meet me where I am. We need to find a common area to meet each other at. I'm on my mountain, she on her mountain. It's not like, hey, come over to my mountain, or she gonna say come over to her mountain. It's like, okay, it's a mountain in between us that we need to meet there.
And I just want to make sure I reiterate. Now, these are the things, because I'm wondering, have you thought about what this person is going to require of you? You know what I mean? Like, not just based on what you said, but based on what you want in her, right? You said, I want these things in her, but what does a woman who has those things want from a man? Right. And I think and maybe I should clarify it in that term. So money, I heard the money. I heard the pliability. You're thinking that she's going to want pliability. What else you think she may want? I
mean, I think that, she wants somebody attractive as well. And I think okay. I fit that bill. I think I'm an attractive male. I bring.
Well, whether you fit the bill or not, just whatever she wants. You know what I mean? Like, what is?
Yeah. I mean, I believe that she wants an attractive man who has the physical traits that she would want, and I think that I have those things. I want her to be flexible and pliable. So I think anybody who's flexible and pliable, you want somebody else who's flexible and pliable. You don't want to just be conforming to them and they just like whatever. Gender roles. And I think that's where the money comes in at. And spirituality, I mean, of course, I think that I want somebody with that level of spirituality, and she's gonna want somebody who probably exceeds her. So I think that, I think that if I don't, that I'm close enough to where then it'll put me in the drive to where, okay, I know I need to do more ASAP, and I need to hop on it to get on her level and surpass her. So. Yeah, I mean, with everything I want from a woman, I think if that woman had all that, I believe that I'm more than enough mentally, emotionally, and spiritually.
Can I jump in real
quick?
Go ahead.
Hop in. We all hop in this thing, girl. What you talking about?
Okay, so
your house ain't for sale.
He's stupid.
She took it off the market.
Girl, she said I took my house off the market. I ain't never nobody describe it like that. I was like, God dang, that was deep, boy.
Well, hold on. I think you set it up like that though, Tommy.
No. She was talking about a house. I ain't telling her about no house. I
used the example of real estate. Yeah.
She did. I ain't said
but
I Kevin Samuels. I let her set herself up. I didn't do it.
You stupid. No. So, Fred, let me ask you a question. You mentioned the money thing. You said you feel like you need to make more money, right? Mm-hmm. And so, is that based off from like women you've talked to, or is that just a place you feel like you need to be for yourself?
But yeah, just for myself. Okay. Because, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was gonna say, because I find that very interesting. That's like another conversation that me and a lot of women have. And I was telling my homegirls. Okay, two stories. One of my friends, my guy friends, before he ended up marrying his wife, they had known each other for a while. We were all rooting for them to go ahead and get married, and like this nigga was holding up the process, and we like, bro, what you doing? Why you doing that? And he was like, no, I just need to be in this place financially, this and that. And I'm like, but why though? Like, she don't care, right? Yeah. I mean, this is just for me, though. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do this, I could get this bill paid and I could do that. I was like, yeah, but if y'all get married and move in together, you could definitely do all those things. Like, why are you holding up the process? So eventually he got over it and finally proposed. And then I was talking to my homegirl back there who's married, and I was like, it just really irks my nerves because I a lot of times see like these really good men who are hung up on what they believe women want. I was like, and they don't even give us a chance to decide whether or not what their situation is, like if we're okay with it or not, which a lot of times a lot of us are. Like, we be like, okay, cool, you got that. What you doing though, like to work on that. You know what I'm saying? If you working on it, cool, we can discuss. If you content and you feel like you ain't going nowhere else, okay, that's a whole nother story. And so I just really find it interesting because like I always hear men talk about what they think women want versus what we talk about when we say what we want.
So I'm glad you brought this up because so now if you want to know what a setup is, here's what a setup was. I set both of y'all up because to answer this question, right, to really dig into whether or not we can have success and black love, to really dig into it, one of the things that Kevin Samuels' show for me is doing for us is it's getting a conversation going of, are we being objective? Are we looking not just at ourselves and where we are, but the people who we want to be with us? The thing that he does very well is he sets a lot of these conversations up based on their own answers, right? I'll let you answer. You answer the question. And then I'm going to take what you said and I want to know, does the opposite or the thing that you want match what you said? And a lot of times, just like Ms Munroe, you called out the thing with the money. Freddie B, you called out her definition of submission, right? Just how we look at these things that we kind of believe or have made up our mind or we believe society is going with, even though we may think differently. We like Ms Munroe said, I just had to take my house off the market because nobody was valuing it, right? At the value I wanted. So we have made up in our mind with the opposite sex or the person the person we want to be our mate. In this case, you guys opposite sex, what we want to be our mates. We know what they want for us based on what we want for them. And so one of the things I think that is very valuable about what Kevin says, even though, hey, listen, I know some people say his message is very hard to listen to or he's very tough, but he's a messenger. And at the end of the day, one of the things we like to do in our society is we like to point at the messenger and shoot the messenger, and we forget the message. We forget everything that was said on that podcast. We forget everything that was laid out, the groundwork. And when we look at it, it's like one woman talking about, well, ain't enough black men. He debunked that. Well, no, if you look at the percentage of single black men that don't have kids and that are average or above in earnings, it's over 50% of black men. So you can't say that anymore. Okay, well, man, these women out here, they be acting like they gold diggers, this and other. Well, wait a minute. Now you got these women out here making, 6 figures and more now. You know what I mean? You got a whole trough of them, you know what I'm saying, that don't need your money. So you can't say that anymore. So, and all he's doing is pointing out, right, just left and right. Like, I'm going to look at what you said. I'm going to look at what you said. Okay, boom. And I can see how people could take him wrong as trying to be a relationship guru. Really, he's just calling out fault. He has a lot of questions. He asks these questions simply to see where your baseline is. Where is your baseline? And let's go from there. You say you want a high value man. Now, I think you got to define what high value means. I think you got to define what top 10% means. I think you need to do some other definitions of what's a PhD. What's it, those things I think he needs to reiterate so that everybody understands what are these baselines. Once you have those set in stone, you can now look and say, let's just reflect on it. Let's stick you in a mirror and let's reflect. Freddie B, hop in that mirror. Ms Munroe, hop in that mirror. What is it you want? Now, it's what you want. If you found that person, what do you think they want from you? And a lot of times we base that off of what we think, right? What we believe versus have you actually gone to talk to these people? Or have you actually been in a room with these type of people? Have you dated these type of people? And so I think that's one of the things that we got to start to think and do as we start to try to dive into this black love thing. Because I don't think we're irreparable in our community. I don't think we're irreparable, but I do think we do need to start somewhere. And therapy is going to be a part of it, right? Therapy and counseling, that's going to be a part of it. But then we have to start to listen to each other. And so one of the things I think that's really not happening is we're having these conversations with our homegirls and we're having these conversations with our homeboys. And now that we're coming together, and it's like the beauty of this podcast is having you both have an opposing opinion, is to bring you together and say, but what if y'all crosstalked? What if, Freddie B, you asked Ms Munroe, well, what do you want? And Ms Munroe, what if you asked Freddie B, well, what do you want? Somebody out there could probably discover, like, wow, I ain't even, and don't let it be about you, Ms Munroe. I mean, if it was this, what do you want? What do you want from me? Wow. You may be able to get through and date more often and find that, I'm just dating the wrong kind of people. I'm not dating the man I thought I was dating, because I can just tell from what he wants from me. Same thing with you, Freddie B. I mean, not to say that there's anything wrong with what you guys are doing now, but I'm just thinking as on a society and as a whole, as when you look at it in the bigger level on a larger scale, are we really giving each other a chance? And so I like to ask Freddie B now. Freddie B, let's talk to this audience about what it is you're passionate about in life. What's your most passionate thing? Like, what are you most passionate about?
Well, before I get there, to answer Ms. Arnold, she said about the money thing, and what she said was correct. Some dudes just assume that, they need money and they'll hold up a process. Now that's problematic. Like, you got a chick and you holding up the process between y'all when it's like, okay, y'all are at a good place where y'all can grow together and she can, because a lot of times, dude, you ain't gonna get to that next level without that woman. That's gonna get you to that next level and vice versa. So that is problematic. And when I say money, I'm saying more so from a standpoint of the when it comes to gender roles, I look at the male as the provider, the woman as the nurturer. Like, basically back before economy and the consumer world we live in was a thing where you had money, where it was just like you had to go out and kill a bison and you bring it back and you cook it under the fire. Like, it wasn't no paper. It wasn't no, you just bartered. Like, oh, you want something, like, oh, they got corn, you got bison skin, you trade it. Back then, the men would go out, kill all the animals and bring it back to the tent. And then the women cook it up, and the men would decide, your husband decide, okay, we need to move here, we need to go here because okay, winter is coming, so that's all the bison gonna leave, and so we ain't gonna have no food to even eat, so we need to move with the bison, that type of deal. So that same concept, now everything else in there can be filled in, like, making decisions on different stuff, financial, whatever. She may know more about this, he may know more about this. You make sure you make the best decisions collectively for the family, but the man is the provider, the woman is the nurturer, and that's 50-50 because they're both equally important. So that's just kind of what I think. But if I found a woman and I didn't have the money, quote unquote, I thought I needed, I'm not gonna hold the process up. Like, hold on, wait, I'm gonna drag my feet on getting married because I gotta make this. Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Well, how would you know that though? How do you know if you hold the process up? Or how? Like, I think it kind of goes back. Like, you still have to know what she wants, right?
Right, exactly, and that comes from us bonding. Like, because if I got engagement and marriage on the table, that means I've bonded with this woman. I've talked to her, I've gotten to know her. I've paid attention. So with me, with anything, I mean, I'm like, if something I grasp onto, I mean, this time it's, we've been knowing each other for years. I'm very passionate about the things in my circle. Whether it's business or personal. Like, if it's in my circle and it gets into that circle, then it becomes like very serious. So if it's a woman I'm involved with, it's very serious. I'm like really in tune to her. I'm really paying attention to who she is as a woman so I can bond with her, so I can understand who she is as a woman. So with that being said, I'll know. Like, I'll know what type of woman she is and where she stands in that regard. Like, okay, we can move forward, and because she's helping me build, because she's submitting to the whole process. So she's getting under this mission, and she's supporting this mission that I'm building, so we can move forward full steam ahead without me having to figure like, okay, how I'm gonna do this myself before I include her. It's the same concept of people going to church. It's like, well, let me get myself together before I go to church. No, just go to church. Church will get you together. God is there. That's the whole point of it all. So it's the same concept. Like, I'm not gonna hold it up when I know this woman she's ready to submit, and okay, Let's full steam ahead because she's supporting me. She under the mission. We working together. We won. So we about to boom and bump. Let's do this thing. Let's roll.
So when the reason why I asked you about passion, like, what are you most passionate about? Because a lot of times when we address this passion thing, right? Well, first, before we address it, Freddie B, what are you most passionate about?
I am most passionate about the work that I do, hosting different things in the past and continuing that path. I'm passionate about that. And in my inner circle, people who are in my inner circle, I'm passionate about those people as well.
All right, Ms Munroe, what are you most passionate about?
Being creative and helping other people.
Care to delve into that a little bit?
I'm just a very creative person in general. If we didn't live in a capitalistic society, I wouldn't lean more towards film and writing right now. I'll be doing everything. I'd be sewing, cooking, singing, playing music. I'd be doing everything. But, because you have to kind of stick to one thing in order to become good at it enough to make a living, I kind of have to stick to, to one area.
So you did good at home economics.
Oh, man, I loved home ec.
Okay.
I just don't like washing dishes, though. So, yeah, I don't care.
Dishwashers for. Fuck them dishes.
We've had this conversation before. I really don't trust dishwashers unless they're like brand new.
Oh, for real? You know what? I don't remember that.
What's wrong with what?
I ain't know.
Never heard this.
I'm traumatized as a child from people who having raggedy ass dishwashers and then be like, oh, just throw it in the dishwasher, and they plates never look really clean to me, and I'm like, I'm not eating off that shit.
No,
so I just think about
load it right.
I grew up in a household full of people, so it wasn't that shit. Dishwasher was best friend.
Yeah, and too, my mother never let me really use the dishwasher either. She was like, what do you mean you are the dishwasher? So that's just kind of like ingrained in my mind.
Yeah, it's an old school mother. My mom's the same way.
Right. Right.
It's technology. Let's lean into it.
And then too, the helping people, like, this is so funny, because I've been struggling a lot lately with everything going on, like mentally, as far as creative wise and stuff. And unfortunately, my aunt passed from COVID a few weeks back.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry, rest in peace.
Thank you. I went to Chicago for the funeral, and she had adopted 4 boys. And one of my younger cousins, like, who was having the hardest time buying him a suit. He's a lot slimmer. We had to take him to the kids section of what is it? Oh my God, what's the little store that sells like they're not, I would say cheap suits because they are cheap for the price, but they are good quality. I can't think of the name of it. Was it K&G or something like that?
Oh, K&G.
Yeah, and so the pants fit fine, but they were like a little too long, so I had to hem his pants. And it was so crazy to me. I was thinking to myself as I was hemming the pants, I was like, you know what? I don't think I've been as happy creating anything in a long time. But it dawned on me that it was like, you know what? It's because I'm helping him. And so I've been trying to really figure out more how to use my creativity to help people because, you know, I'm in my 30s. You know, the pressure is to be, oh, you got to make this money. You got to do this. You got to live this life. And you know what I'm saying? You got to earn all of this. But we don't really make an easy path within the capitalistic world to be helpful and to also be financially successful.
Yeah.
That's really difficult to do. But yeah, so creativity and helping people, yeah, that's like really huge for me.
It's interesting because if you listen to what you both said things that fit gender norms. You both said things that are old world concepts, actually, you know. Man being passionate about his work. Freddie B even laid out a whole story about, how the man used to go do what? They used to go kill and bring it back. And the woman would do what? Cook. You know, and so it's interesting because there used to be a very basic and a very symbiotic relationship between men and women that we have just, I don't know if it's because of technology or because of progression or because of regression or what it has been, but it seems that we have complicated relationships today, and if you just get back to the solical, like the basic parts of the man and the woman, what is it that you just want out of like the ultimate passion you have? And you start to realize, like Freddie B, there's somebody who's going to align with that. There's a woman looking for that man who's like, I'm ready to go work. I just need to do the work. I'm ready to work. I'm gonna get it. And the same thing for you, Ms Munroe. That's a man who's like, dang, man, I've been looking for that creative woman. You know what I'm saying? You know what? You be creative. I'll bring the money in, and you create. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna help. And those two, you want to create and help. That's what you want to do. Boom. All right. Well, let me go get these. And it's interesting because I always shout these people out when I talk to my friends. When I talk to other friends about relationships I'm really proud of in the black community, my friend from college, I'll just say his first name. I don't want to give his last name, so y'all be looking him up. Ladies will be trying to find him. But, my boy Javon and his wife are like a perfect relationship in my mind. From not to say that they don't have problems, but they both took what they were the best at and they brought it to each other. Right? They took their passion. They said, well, let's do this as one. Let's do this together. And they have had a successful relationship. His wife is very similar to you, Ms Munroe, and she's like, I'm trying to figure this thing out, and he just like, I got the check. What's up? He like, I'm out here getting his money, working. I got the check. What's up? To the point where he bring the check back to her. Everything got to be funded, right? He bring the check back to her, and she give him the allowance. And so I'm like, that's deep, man. But like, they have something that works for them. And so I think that we can. My answer to this question, this ultimate question of the show is success and black love. Can we have it all? I think we can have it all. But I think it's going to take some breaking down of what we think or believe, because we have decided to believe superficial things, or we have decided to believe things that are just not true about each other. And one of the things that this Kevin Samuels, he took a lot of heat for, I guess, calling this woman average in most people's mind, but he never called her average. He said, you chose 5. Okay, that's average at best, is what he said. What he was trying to let her know is recognize, we got to break that down. If you average at best, if you looked at yourself in the mirror and told yourself you was average at best, okay, if you told yourself that, then what would you qualify for, right? And
he did say, he did kind of agree with her. He was like, because she said like 6.5 with makeup.
Well, he
which I agree with him. I saw the chick.
He came back. He came back and he said, when you take all of that off, do you look the same? And she lied and said yes. So he gave. Yeah. So again, I mean, not that. So when he started hitting her with the ends, it's like, nah, you don't look like that when you take that hair off. You take that. I think she got hair, eyelashes. She was kind of done up, and it was just like, yeah. It was like, and mind you, Ms Munroe, she said, I'm a 5'6" with my makeup on. Like, I was like, yo, and we looking at her with makeup on. Like, she ain't come in busted. She came in with the suit. She came in her.
She ain't lied though. She was about that with the makeup on.
But the lie that she might have told herself is that she's going to get this thing that's out of this world. But guess what? The only thing he was trying to tell her is that she doesn't qualify. But I think what people took that as is that she can't have. What he's saying is that most of those people who are up there are not looking for a 5 or a 6. Like, and check this out. There's women now, and I don't know if you remember. Well, I ain't gonna say her name, but there was a girl at college, and to me, she was not the prettiest girl. She was probably about a 5 or 6. But the way she walked and the way she moved like a dime. Like, just the way she moved, dudes would be like, you know what, man, she don't look like that, but man, she's sexy. So there's some women who could be, you know what I'm saying, they can move a certain way and they have that confidence and they just, you know, they on the scene and you can give them that feeling. But in this case, this woman believed herself. And so because she believed herself, it's like, okay, so that's what you believe about yourself. Okay, so now to round out the show, because I know we've gone long. So, Ms Munroe, I'm gonna give you the what I'm gonna call, after all my listenings, I'm gonna give you the Kevin Sanders profile brief. Okay, this is what I'm calling. This is T Staples' official Kevin Sanders profile brief. Okay. So for all y'all listening out here, I want y'all. I'm gonna do it like this. We're gonna use this as a learning lesson.
Oh,
it's a learning lesson.
Don't get hung up on, because that's what I would have done if I was. I'd have hung up on his ass.
Well, she should have, and she should have called back for a session if she wanted that type of a critique. But even then, I'm gonna tell you one thing I don't like about this clip after we do this project brief. Kevin Sanders profile brief. Here we go. Ms Munroe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any kids?
No, sir.
Do you have a mom and dad in the household, or were they ever married?
No.
They were never married?
Nope.
So from time you're born, or just as long as you know?
I'm the bastard child.
Got you. Okay.
Jesus Louises, God.
I didn't know she was gonna say that, y'all. I did not.
I don't think anybody did.
Because I don't give no fucks about it, but I know I've had people say that about me.
Really? Then fuck them. They shouldn't say nothing about you. That ain't their business.
Jesus
What you
Louises.
said, but yeah, people really
fuck
believe
them
in
niggas.
that, like, oh, that makes you better or don't make you better whether your father stuck around.
Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Were you raised by mom or dad then?
Mom.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
How would you rank yourself, your face, 1 to 10? You can't use 7.
On a regular day, 10.
Regular day, 10. Now, what's a regular? I just need to qualify. What's a regular day? Like you just woke
No
up like
makeup.
this, or
Yep, no
makeup?
makeup.
Makeup 10. So on an irregular day, do you go down?
No, so I said on a regular day, no makeup, 10.
Oh no. Okay.
Damn, well, what's after that? Like,
But that's why I asked. So on an irregular day, what happens? You go down, or like does it go down?
Nope.
Or does it stays? So 10. So
Goes up to the
you break the
sky,
scale.
baby. Up to the sky.
Oh, okay. Even higher. Got you. Okay,
Even
got you.
higher.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, got you. What's your dress size?
Oh, it's been forever since I bought clothes. Like a
I don't wear dresses.
4. Depends.
so
Like
we're
women's clothes are so weird. Like whether you go to the
wear-
petite
I wear
section
Dickies
or the
and
actual
Levi's.
regular women's size. I don't know, like a petite. Usually I'm a 4, but that's petite.
4?
Like a regular women's size, I'd probably be like a 0.
How tall are you?
I am 5 foot.
Okay.
Ooh.
How long has it been since your last serious relationship?
2 years. I think 2 years.
2 years. And how long were you in that relationship?
Child. 4 or 5 months.
That's a serious relationship?
It was supposed to be.
And how old are you?
33.
33. Now, at this moment in Kevin's show, this is when he started playing the Danger Zone sound effect. Okay. Now, what type of man do you want? Simple answer. Do you want kind of average guy? Do you want above average, high quality guy? Do you want below average? What type of man? Where on the scale of men would you say you want?
That's vague. Because that depends on what average, like how you're defining it.
Let's talk money. Let's talk social status. Let's social economic status. He's either, top of his game, or he's like, regular average guy, or doing like some like desk work, blue collar, or a bum on the street.
Well, clearly not a bum on the street.
Hey, you never know. So, hey, somebody might want a bum on the street.
I mean, not a bum on the street, but he work at McDonald's. You know, he got a little minimum wage job.
Oh man, that's like a little bit above bum on the street now.
I mean, that's a bum in all respective.
I feel like
concepts.
that's like a number
Do
3.
I want a man who works at McDonald's? No. Would
Well,
I be
what type of man do you want?
okay?
Yeah. What type? What like blue collar, white collar? What type of?
Blue collar, white collar doesn't matter to me.
What's the floor?
It honestly depends on how you are with that money, though, because you could be I know people like this all the time. Like, this is a funny story about when I got my house. When I got my house, I made $13 an hour, which is like nothing. But I was working my butt off to save up for that. My mortgage broker called me ecstatic, losing his mind. Like, oh my God, you qualify for this and that, because I just know how to save money very well and I don't have a lot of debt. And he was like, I have people come in here all the time who make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they spend, you know what I'm saying, like 90% of that all year. They don't have nothing. They in tons of debt. They got the stuff they really can't afford. Like, I was qualifying for bigger houses than people who made 3 times more than what I made. So it could be a dude that makes a bunch of money, but how's he spending that money? You know what I'm saying? Is anything saved in case some shit happens? You know what I'm saying? And otherwise, and all that money he's making ain't doing no damn good.
So,
or it could be the dude.
So the dude in your the optimum situation that you would want. We're not gonna talk about what you don't want. We'll talk about what you do want. So where would you place him?
As long as he has a job, I'm assuming.
A decent paying job and he's good with his money.
So average guy.
He's financially responsible. I mean, yeah, I guess average.
Average guy. Okay, that's fine. It's all good.
40K, yeah, she good.
I mean, I could do that. Depending on where he lives. He can't be in New York making 40K.
Now, do you know any men like this? Like, do you know any men that are on this, on this level?
Yeah, plenty. I know plenty make a lot more.
No. I'm talking about the men that we baselined you at. The average guy. Do you know any of these men?
Yeah.
Are they your family? Or are these men that's not in your family?
Not in my family.
Not in your family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's wrong with them?
It's usually a personality thing or how they view relationships.
Okay.
Or they're fiscally irresponsible. That's been most of it.
You have the qualities that those men want.
To my knowledge, yes.
What do you think they want?
They want somebody attractive. They want somebody they feel like they can talk to. I get that a lot, which is weird. Like, men will be like, oh my God, you're such a good listener. I wasn't expecting that. And it's like, well, what was you expecting?
A woman that talks? What do you mean? Don't you know the stereotype? Duh.
I mean, I guess, but I'm just like, if you thought I wasn't going to listen to you, why the hell you talking to me? Like, that's just so weird to me. But anyways.
Well, actually, you should think about it in the opposite. If you think about what you just said, really, it should be like, oh, well, damn, yeah. Like, if he thought I wasn't going to talk to you, I surprised him, then yeah, okay, boom. That makes sense. Because you sound like you surprised me.
Apparently.
Well, yeah, but go ahead.
What you said? Do I think I possess what they
want? Right. Do you know what they want? These average men.
Yeah, I think I do.
Mm-hmm. And do you want to be married?
Oh Jesus, I don't know no more.
Well, I would based on this assessment. So this is the Kevin Samuels profile brief. He builds the profile brief. Now I'm not gonna be pointing back at her like I ain't gonna put her in the full mirror and just beat her up. Because actually, from all these questions you just answered, he probably would have a field day with you. But one thing I will say is that there's no reason why you're not married. Because based on what you just told me, in that whole profile, the factor in why you're not married is not actually the men, it's you. Like that's the factor. Because there may be something that you might need to go to therapy to get. And we don't know. I'm not a therapist. I couldn't tell you what that is. But you may need to seek some counseling to figure out what it is in me that is blocked out what I know is already there. Because you say you've seen these guys and you know what they want. And from your profile, you are what they want. So okay, I'm desirable. Are you in position? I don't know. Are you dating these men? I don't know. I don't know if you're dating the right group of men. You may know who these guys are, but you're not actually dating them. You know what I mean? Like that could be happening. But I think you definitely should be talking to somebody, because now, ladies and gentlemen, this is one assessment, right? This is one like just outlook, but this is not the only outlook. Like he uses this same set of questions on almost everybody. You know what I mean? The men, he tweaks a few questions. Like he doesn't ask the dress size, of course, for men. You know, he does ask, you know, how what do they weigh? So he's still getting at kind of the same concept, right? You know, how much do you weigh? And it's interesting because I don't know where he got these questions from, but they do kind of build a profile about a person, and you can make some general assessments. And one of the things that Ms Munroe said, and I'm not a counselor, so don't take my information as solid, right? I'm not a counselor, but it's something in there that you said that was very interesting. It was you saying, I don't know about marriage. I don't know. You didn't say I'm ready to get married. You didn't say I'm going to get married. It's I don't know. So when you use the word I, and one of the things he does a lot is he takes when people point at themselves and he points right back at you. He goes, okay, yeah, you pointed, so I'm gonna point too. Yeah, you don't know about marriage, so you need counseling. You know, and not to say you specifically, Ms. Munroe, but I'm just saying in general when he does that, you know. And so I think what I have determined is that we, as a culture, I know people mad at this man. I know they don't like his delivery, but I think in order for us to get to this black love of success, we're going to need more Kevin Samuels out there to start pointing, like to really help us reflect on ourselves, you know? And I'm not saying that he is the best counselor or coach or whatever, but I think we need more of it out there, because one thing he is doing is he's like, okay, let's put the microscope on you. Let's put it on you, you know. Or if you call in and you want it, he's like, okay, you want the microscope. That's weird. I don't know why you want it, but all right, here you go. You know, he'll give it to you. And we need that. And maybe some people should be paying for his services. Now I went on his website. I didn't see how much these services cost, or all it was is you got to book a session. So I'm pretty sure he's probably negotiating, you know, I guess he's negotiating his rate person to person. You know, I'm not sure, you know, how he's doing it. And I'm not saying nor advocating that you should book with him, but we do need these figures out here, and we need them on both sides of the sex, not just male and female, but, you know, gay and straight, you know? And so that's one of the things that I think is very important. So is it about Kevin Samuels in particular? I think he's just a messenger. But ladies and gentlemen, please don't deny the message. Don't deny the message. So Freddie B, Ms Munroe, now it's time to ask you, based on this conversation, we went real long, but I gotta bring it into a close. We gotta close some kind of way.
We're not questioning Freddie B.
No. The assessment was just for you. That was just for you. Assessment just for you. I could assess Freddie B, but then it's kind of redundant because it's gonna do the same. It's the same thing. Like it's the same thing I did passion for passion, this for this. That's why I went with him on the other thing, and I did this assessment. That's why I specifically isolated. Like, okay, I'm gonna do that with her later because I wanted to test the Kevin. I wanted to test the Kevin Sanders profile brief. This is the brief that mostly women call in to get, which is also why I did it for you, because mostly women are calling in to get this brief. You know what I mean? But do you want to do Freddie B? You want to see what Freddie B gonna say?
No, we could leave it.
No, it's up to you,
It's up to you, Ms Munroe.
No, we could leave it.
Okay, yeah, because I only did because
speak now, forever hold your peace.
I found it interesting. I'm like, oh, so we're not questioning, because I mean, to me in society, we already do that. We put a lot of responsibility on women to be all of this, and it's just like, okay, cool, men make money, that's good, that's all you gotta do.
Well, no. Because
so then it's not question.
So the questions weren't to say go ask every woman this. These are the questions he asked everybody, and that's why I specified like the one with the dress size is different. You know what I mean? Like he would say with me, he would ask weight. But this is essentially his profile brief. It's just a simple brief. You could do it at home, do it yourself, write it down, do it in the mirror, man and woman. You know, gay or straight. Like but the real point of it is that are we calling out the truths about ourselves? You know, are we actually like, okay, this is who I say I am. This is what I say I want. Now let me reflect that and see who the person who will want who I am, and the person who will want what I say I want. What do they want? You know, and I think that having that dialogue, right, is the most important thing. I think with yourself. And also getting to know some people, like even with you say you knew some of these people. Oh, well, you know these people. What's happening? Why, if you know what it is you're looking for, you know what it is they want, where's the disconnect? it can't be with just them, right? So I think. Well, you think it's just with them?
I wouldn't say solely, but I most of the issues where I've separated from people it's been huge stuff like, you know, getting accused of cheating all the time, or, you know, dudes who, it's been some dudes I'm like, oh, we super cool, like I'm kind of liking him, but it's like, damn, this nigga is not good with his money at all, you know, and I'm like, hey, maybe you shouldn't, I'm dropping little things, and they just not really trying to hear
But you're good with money, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you could drop those things and then try to hear it, but maybe there's things you could do differently to influence them. Maybe it's showing and not telling. You know, and so this, or
maybe it's having a direct conversation,
or maybe it's that too.
People don't,
I have.
But
I've done both. I've tried to do the okay. Let me shut because as a woman, a lot of times if I say something to a man, like I have to be super, you know, aware of how I say it, because it's like, you know, I won't hurt nobody's ego.
To the person who is for you, you would know how to talk to them. And let me say this also: it's not about woman versus man, though, and that's why I said you might need to. I think the counseling thing is important for everyone. Because sometimes how we perceive a situation to be playing out, especially in our head, especially if you are the missing piece to their puzzle, right? If you have the information on how to do it and you know they don't have the information, and you want to be with that person and you want to live with that person is a part of you, and you want to be a part of them, then sometimes we have to find a way to in love or through love to communicate. And it may not be the way we have traditionally done it that ain't working, you know? And I'm not saying you're wrong or he's wrong. What I'm saying is that we all need to take another look at ourselves, is what I'm saying. And when we try,
I think it comes down to whoever you try to get with, they may be missing some stuff that they don't have everything that you wanted, and then vice versa. So it's about going back to what you said, the 50-50. Like what don't they have, and you kind of supporting them and giving them that thing. What don't you have that he comes and supports and pours into your life to where you can get it, and then now y'all can grow together. Because that's the part of growing together. That's when y'all get y'all teeth into each other, to use that euphemism, to where y'all actually grow together and not just grow together, but y'all just side by side, where y'all actually grow together and become one, not grow together and still be two different people.
Listen. I know this pain point. I have literally told a lady, like, oh my God, you're clumsy, you're dropping anything. Oh my God. But then I had to stop myself and say, well, I'm recognizing her clumsiness. I'm recognizing it. So now let me revert it. Let me. How can I help her? Okay, because me telling her she clumsy ain't helping her. Me telling her she messed that up ain't helping her. Because she's still doing it. You know, she walked in here, trip over, boom, break it. God dang. So I had to find new ways. And listen, shit, I try to find ways, and sometimes it just don't work. And then sometimes you stumble upon something. Like, you know.
Look at God.
And then you also have to ask, how important is it anyway? I mean, listen, you know, Ms Munroe, I take you as a boss chick. You know, you like what the girls call boss ladies. You know, you boss lady. Like you might have to be like, give me the money, I'll give you an allowance.
Stupid. See, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing nothing like that.
But you may have to. You might have to. You know, to make things work.
You don't feel comfortable doing it?
Mm-mm.
I'm saying,
what makes you uncomfortable about that?
I don't know. Like it just seems like, how can I put it? That seems very controlling.
What you mean?
Controlling?
To a degree, it's like, yeah, you know what? You don't know what you're doing with your money, so give it to me. Like, I feel like if I feel like you're that incompetent, why am I bringing you on the team?
Well, okay.
If he can bring the money in, though, he might be a good team player.
Well, I mean, but that's interesting that you looked at it in that framing, that is so controlling, like he's so incompetent. Or what? But it's another way you can look at it, because that's a pessimistic way to look at it. Optimistic way of looking at it is that you just know more about it, and then that you need to spearhead this. So just bring the money in and let me take care of it. And then you can handle this because you know about this. I'm not versed in this, so you go take care of that. So focus your energies on your strengths. Let me focus my energy on my strengths, which is finances. Just bring the finances into me, and I'll take care of it. It's not, and it's not saying that he not gonna not know a god doggone thing about what's happening. He may know, but you're just sending out the money to where it needs to go, because you got a tight handle on it. Okay, here, boom, here. Because I know a lot of dudes that do that. My pastor in Nashville, that's how he run it. He make the money, he bring it in, it goes into an account, it goes into one big account. His wife, she goes in and then she pays all the bills, and then she puts money into his own little account to where he got money. This your money to spend. She puts it in there, and then she puts some money into her account for her to spend. he knows what's going on, but she takes care of all that. It's not that he's incompetent, he don't know what he's doing. It's just that she spearhead. It's just like with this podcast. You spearhead some stuff, I spearhead some stuff, Tommy spearhead some stuff. Somebody got to be the leader.
Yeah, I think, but that's okay though, and I think we have to be okay with. Listen, you know, and that's why I asked you guys both your passions. I asked because I wanted you guys to realize that sometimes we got what we already need. Everything we need, God has already given us. He already gave it to us. We searching for something. He already gave you what you needed. Now you go out and find what makes sense for you, or whatever makes sense. You should find you, or however you want to believe that. You know, but when you find it, you cannot just throw it away just because it don't feel right. He don't know. He don't know what he's doing. Fucking like off the first thing. You know, at the same time. You know, I do know there has to be some, what Fred used the word malleable. It has to be a little bit, he has to be a little bit more pliable. You know what I mean? Like in that case, Ms Munroe, he would have to be pliable to what you're suggesting in that case. You know what I mean? Like, okay, she's suggesting, I got this on lock. I need you to follow me.
Right. And that's what a leader does. A leader can listen. Leader can know like, oh, okay, Ms Munroe sound like she can kill this. So Ms Munroe gonna do this, y'all. Hey, this is Ms Munroe is over this. A leader knows how to delegate. You know, every leader. If you don't know how to delegate authority, you can't be a leader.
Hell, you could be a good follower though. You could be a good follower.
Yeah, you can be a great follower. There's a lot of followers out here.
Some people followers. You know, they need. Yeah. You still got to be a good follower. You could be a bad follower. Some people are bad followers, and them may not be the people for you.
Exactly.
And that's also another thing we need to do is when you say this is what I want in a woman. And when Ms. Morris say this is what I want in a man, we need to make sure that those are the things we recognize who those people are. We're not attributing what we want to somebody who was not what we want. You know what I mean? We don't want to, because when you start to do that, you start to think of life or start to think of this dating in a negative way. And then it puts you on a spiral where now I don't think I can have success in black love. Now
that's the other clip I saw.
Right. Now relationships are Z. You know what I mean? You don't want to be on that spiral. You know what I mean? Because if you on that spiral, it's kind of hard to get off of that. You know, it's really hard.
Did you see the other clip where the lady called in and he was like, "See, it's you always dating. She always dating the bad boys or something." I forgot what he said. But he was like, you know, what about you that you just always so all you can attract are what he said. He said thugs and just something. He said like it was just a whole bunch of like the trash dudes. It's like that's all you being involved with. So of course your outlook gonna be trash because you just date trash,
and you may want some, and you may in fact want something different, and that's so the reason why I only did it wasn't to single you out, Ms. Munroe, or anything, but it really was let's get these questions out because these questions are the most important part of I think what his profile brief is the most important part of what he does in order to reflect back, right? And everybody out there, you know, if you heard the questions, you can write them down. You know, reflect back on yourself. Like, ask yourself those questions. And then look at your profile. And then, like, let's start looking at, am I actually going after this thing that I really want? Like, or am I getting these things that aren't even in the category of what I'm looking for? And do I qualify for that category? So if you cool with average, it shouldn't be hard to get somebody average. It shouldn't be hard. It's a lot of them out there. Yo, it's a lot of them out there. Listen, you know, it shouldn't be hard. It's a lot. You know, so
that's like 60% of the world, isn't it?
But a lot of people don't want what's average. You got to find. Let me tell you, what happens is when you say I want somebody who is average, and then you getting upset with the fact that they averaged. You know, it's like, well, I mean, what do you expect? Like, at some point, you got to look at yourself and go, am I bumping my head against the wall? Like, you might be, but I would suggest for everyone, you know, if you're having trouble in that area. And if you do your own assessment at home and you find it, you know what? Dang, like, I think it's me. If you figure that out, then guess what? I would not just sit there with that knowledge and not do nothing about it. I would actually go and try to get a little bit of help from somebody who's a professional. And not necessarily Calvin Samuels. You know, I look for maybe a relationship coach or a therapist or a counselor, somebody who can help you with your particular individual case, because this is an individual type thing. You know, there's no real blanket that fits everyone, right? So listen, Lord Jesus, we had way too many feelings about this one. I mean,
wait.
But we got enough feelings for y'all to listen to, and I'm glad y'all stayed the course and rode with us on this journey. Send us a message. Our handles are in the description. Let us know how you feel about success and black love. And if we can have it all. I believe we can, people. So listen, this has been a good one. I've been here with
the lovely and amazing Ms Munroe.
And who else?
Shemaine Man Freddie B. I'm in the building.
He sure was in the building. And I hope y'all in the building too, because it's cold outside. So look, I'm yours truly, T Staples. And make sure you catch us next time when we have too many feelings. Peace.